Call, where Martin here will answer questions from our special studio audience. But first, Martin, how did you find today's programme and why have you got a cup of coffee and I've not?
Because you have to do this and I get to go and nip off during the middle bit. Whoa, today was heavy programme. There was a lot. I'll tell you the secret for all that. We had to move you about a lot, didn't we, folks? There's a lot of moving because after dividing people into 3 different groups, it was actually quite difficult. The show itself, debt is the thing I've been doing longest. I mean, that I can do it out of my backside, if you know what I mean. But actually getting it all into time, we had a lot of information to cram into a short space of time, as we always do. And I'm feeling stressed. That's why I've got the coffee. Decaf, don't worry, I'm not going to go off.
I think I need something stronger. Didn't you want to have another chat with Brett, though, before we take some questions?
I did.
Yeah?
Brett's over here, because Brett was very interesting. We saved him £1,350 over the next 2 years. How do you feel about that? Do you understand it?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
See, there's something quite clever. You were all listening. We just talked about this in the minute before we started filming. What's actually happening with Brett is we're going to move £4,000 to the HSBC card, right, which is at 2.9% for 2 years. And then we're going to move that off his Barclaycard. So the debt he's shifting to HSBC is coming off Barclaycard because Barclaycard allows you to move debt from other cards cheaply. Its own debt you can't make more cheaply. So actually what we're doing is moving debt off Barclaycard onto HSBC and then moving debt from Halifax onto Barclaycard. So we're going to clear Barclaycard and then fill it because it gives you the 6.9. It's weird, isn't it, that you have to do it that way? But this is because this is what credit card companies try and do. Different interest rates for different purposes. That's why you have to manage the purposes out. Are you happy with what we're doing? Because it's quite important you get it right.
So. Yeah.
You didn't tell your wife about the loans before, did you?
What about the credit cards? No.
No. Was she annoyed?
Yeah, just a tad.
When did you tell her? Because she's on telly now.
It was Monday night.
Do you know what, though? You did the best thing. It's actually, you're laughing. One of the things I always think of in this case, a lot of people have debts that impact their relationships and then they get scared to tell them. You have done it the perfect way. You're going to have to tell them. You're always going to have to tell them. What you shouldn't do is this. Brett, don't worry, but you be the other half. But, you know, you don't go in and say, oh, my God, I've got terrible debts, I don't know what I'm going to do. Ah! That's a bad way to tell somebody. What you actually do is what you do, I'm suspecting. You went in and say, look, I have to tell you, I've got £20,000 worth of debts. I don't know exactly how we're going to sort it, but I'm seeking help because I'm going to go and see Martin Lewis on It Pays to Watch, or I'm going to go and see a debt counselling agent, or I've sat down and planned how I'm going to sort my debts. You go in with a solution. That's how you tell them, with the solution. You did it exactly the right way. We can talk about your loans as well. Do you know what rates they are?
I think they're about 6-7%.
How much money have you got money to pay this off? Have you got any savings?
No.
OK. How much can you pay off on all of this?
Well, I tried to pay off, see if I could pay off my loan early, and they said, well, no, there's like extra fees and stuff like that.
There shouldn't be these days. They used to. When did you try that? Recently, or?
That was about a year ago now.
Yeah, because the rules have changed. There's a thing called... They used to charge you this Rule of 78 penalty and a couple of months' redemption penalties. But if you've got the money to pay off a loan early, then it's generally going to be cheaper if you can just get rid of it than keeping it running, because the penalties they can charge you these days will only be a couple of months' worth of interest. If you've got a few years left to go, it's way cheaper just to slam that loan down. Well done. Thank you for doing it. Thank you, everybody in here. Ruth, I suppose I should hand back to you for questions,
Exactly. Shall we have some questions? I think we've got Pamela first with her lovely long hair. What do you want to ask Martin? Not about your hair, though.
I'd like to ask Martin, sorry. I'd like to ask Martin, I have recently inherited £1,500.
Yeah.
And I've got it in a NatWest ISA.
Yeah.
And I want to know if there's an alternative to a NatWest ISA.
Yeah, there's the one that pays much better.
Which is?
Simple. I save 6.1% instant access, and importantly, it will allow you to transfer money from another ISA in there. So any cash ISA money you've got in any other cash ISA, you can transfer. But this is the big warning, OK? A lot of people... Transferring cash ISA works like this. I should say to everybody at home, a cash ISA is effectively a tax-free savings account. Each UK adult can put up to £3,000 in every year. So you might have a few years of past cash ISAs and you can transfer them too. This is the key. To transfer an ISA, you do not take your money out and put it back in elsewhere. If you do that, you've lost your ISA allocation. When you take it out, it's gone. That's the rules with cash ISAs. So to transfer it, you go to iSafe, you open up the cash ISA there, and then you say, I have money in my NatWest cash ISA. Can you transfer it across for me, please? You do not take cash out to transfer it. You were going to do that, weren't you? I can see it in your face.
Yes.
This is the rule.
Not until I found out which way to put it, though.
I'm going to give you a nicer quiz. Are you ready? Can you do this?
Yeah.
You're allowed to put £3,000 in a year. That's the key rule, £3,000 in. How much you take out doesn't matter. So here's your question. Everybody listening? You've got a £3,000 allocation, you haven't put anything in. You now put £1,500 in your cash ISA. How much more can you put in that year?
£1,500.
You take £500 out. How much more can you put in that year?
3,000.
You've still got
3,000.
£1,500. It only counts on the way in. The fact that you took it out is irrelevant. You can still only put £1,500 more in. If you'd taken the whole 1,500 quid out, you could still only put £1,500 more in. So by taking your money out, you would have effectively negated that 1,500 quid cash ISA you had.
Right.
Does that help?
Yes, it has.
Good.
I'm glad we sorted that one out because I didn't know either. Where's Jackie? Hello, my love. What would you like to ask him?
Just want to ask if I've had a PPI before in the past, within the last 6 years, tried to make a claim on it. They turned it down on for medical reasons. Can I go back and try to claim that again, even though they said no?
Well, there's actually something different you can probably do. If they've turned you down, they're going to turn you down. The medical conditions you had, was that a pre-existing condition?
It was, yeah.
So you had that as a pre-existing condition?
Yeah.
When you took out the policy, did they ask you, and just to be careful in here because of legal television rules, don't name the lender, OK? When you took out the policy, did they ask you if you had any pre-existing medical conditions?
No.
Right. That, for me, is a clear definition of mis-selling. They are duty-bound. PPI, Payment Protection Insurance, I'm going to be doing this in a future show. Payment Protection Insurance is an insurance policy you're often flogged on the back of a loan or a credit card or a mortgage. Which was it with you?
It was a loan.
It was a loan. Loan insurance. Ugh. I tell you, I personally think there is £10 billion of mis-sold loan insurance out there. 10 billion, bigger than bank charges. Bigger than bank charges, and we've got people getting the money back, thousands of pounds. But I won't go on about that right now. So in your case, what I think you need to do, if they've turned down your claim, you need to go to them and say, hold on, I had this condition beforehand. You didn't tell me that this wouldn't be covered. I've now had this condition. You're not paying me out. I, at the very least, want you to give me back all the money that I've paid into you. I want a full reclaim of every PPI. And I think in your case, you have a very strong case of mis-selling. When you ask them for the money, guess what they'll say?
Yes.
No.
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 Every time, yeah, it works like, give me 20 quid. Most people say no. Ask a bank for a few £1,000s of PPI insurance back, they'll say no. Then you say, I'm going to take you to the Financial Ombudsman. And then they might say yes, or if not, the Financial Ombudsman hopefully will rule in your favour, as it does in 2/3 of the PPI reclaiming cases that go to it. So, reclaim your PPI.
Yeah, that's pretty good odds, isn't it? Thank you very much, Jackie. Where's Matt? Hello, mate.
How you doing?
What do you want to ask him then?
I just wanted to ask about the bank charges song that you've brought out recently. I think it's pretty important we try and get that to #1. So, what's the best way of going about that?
Well, me not singing it to start with. I didn't bring it out. I should say I get a featuring credit in the top 40. Pop star. OK, maybe not. They were on last week's show. Look, I'll be absolutely honest with you. I wish I could say we're going to get it to #1. I don't think that's going to happen. We had our week in at number 25. We sold enough for it to get in number 5 in the charts. But there was a technical issue. I'll be honest about this. When we launched it, we wanted people to buy it to get it in the charts. So we said you have to text bankers to 82822 to get the song. Bankers. Nothing else. Right? That's what you have to text to get the song. The problem happened on the 31st of December between the pre-launch date and when the song actually came out. The chart company changed the rules and said it's not how many you sell, it's how many are downloaded. If we had done it on a download system, we would have been at number 5. But because we did it by text and then people weren't downloading it afterwards, that's why we only got to number 25 in the charts. I think we've had our hit, but bank charges certainly isn't over. I bet the banks wish it is, but 2 weeks left of the trial, I think, and then we'll hear the first step in the announcement of what's going on over there.
Yeah. Well, listen, we told us about his singing, but what does everybody reckon about his dancing? Did you see that earlier on?
I didn't do that much,
Go
no.
on.
I mean, I could have done. Well, look at that, with a cup of coffee and a spin. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Where's Jan? Jan. Oh, come forward, Jan. I can't see you. That's it. What would you like to ask him then, my love?
Right. When you're claiming back PPI, are you entitled to the full amount or proportion of it?
Depends what you're reclaiming it for. Generally, if you're reclaiming it for a full mis-selling, you should be able to get the full amount back, and you might want to ask for interest on top, right, if they took it off you unfairly. If you're reclaiming because it was a single premium policy and you wanted to pay it off early and you weren't allowed to, in that case, you would be getting a proportionate amount. But it depends on the specifics of the claim. So what are you reclaiming it for?
It was for a loan. It's a single premium payment.
It's a single premium payment. OK, look, we're not going to go through the details of mis-selling today. The rule on all reclaims, whether it's bank charges, it's mortgage exit fees, whether it's PPI, whether it's credit card reclaiming, is this. You are entering into a negotiation with your lender. It's a haggle. It's a negotiation. So the answer is quite simple. How much do you ask for? As much as you possibly can. And then you hope they're going to give you as much as they can, and then if they make you an offer, you have to decide if it's worth settling for. It's a negotiation. It is not. The only form of reclaiming that's a legitimate official process is endowment mis-selling. And that you get based on a sort of calculated equation and a function. Everything else, you say, I want the world! And you hope you get what you do. So do you ask for it all? Absolutely you do.
Oh, yes, I did.
You do, and then hopefully you'll get it.
No, and a half.
You got half?
Mm.
Then let me ask you a question.
Right.
You may be able to get more if you push. You probably didn't go to the Ombudsman.
I went through a company who was fighting on behalf of
You went to a reclaim company, but you
Yes.
didn't take the appeal to the Ombudsman in the end. So that you got a settlement from the bank.
Mm-hmm.
OK, then the question is yours.
How do I claim back the other half?
Well, the question is whether you did... I mean, first of all, you went through... You're a paid reclaim company, and I never liked doing that, I have to say. And the problem is they've been handling your case, so it's always a little bit more complicated when that's been going on. The question, they've offered you that settlement. If you've taken that settlement, you've taken the settlement. But you have to decide whether it's worth fighting for that. You know, if you take it to the ultimate stage, you're going to go through the Ombudsman. The fact that they've made you this offer does not mean you'll win if you go to the Ombudsman. Right? So you have to decide, am I willing to go for the whole amount, or is it not worth it? Would I prefer to keep the money? And you have to do that based on your own finances. People always happened in bank charges. People always wanted a definite answer from me. They've offered me 3/4. Should I take it? I just bounce it back. Is it right for you to take it? Is the surety of having that half of that amount right for you? A lot of the really fervent campaigners would say you have to go for every single penny. But I try and look at the bigger picture. Your finances are more important than taking a militant approach and going for all of it. If you could afford not to have that money, not to have the half, then you might want to go for everything.
But she could lose the half, could she, if she takes it further?
Yes, I don't know the exact case because it's been done for a claims handling company, and I don't know if they've sent a letter saying, yes, we accept that and we agree to take that with no further action. But ignoring that, you know, it's always, how much do I want? How much am I willing to settle for? That's the key.
Does that help?
It does.
Brilliant. I think we've got time for one last question from Monica. Where's Monica? Hi. Hello. I like that was nice and cheerful. It was like Punch and Judy. It's behind you. What would you like to ask me, darling?
Well, I have to read it.
So I see people have got the idea now, haven't they? They know we're going to be a question, so you bring them written down.
I've got a card. It's fine.
Right. After the recent problems with the stock market and the credit crunch, are we heading for a recession?
Don't know. Next. I mean, I'll be absolutely honest with you. Yes, the stock market's wobbled, but it's bounced back over the last couple of days. Probably by the time I say this, or people are watching this, if they're watching on Thursday, who knows where it will be right now. So no one can predict the stock market. The economy is certainly wobbling, but we're not in technical recession, which I believe is a downturn for 2 successive quarters. We're a long way from that. House prices are teetering, but they're still going up, albeit slowly. Credit crunch is definitely happening. It's becoming more difficult to borrow. Are we heading for a technical recession? Not yet. Will we get there? Quite possibly. Will we get there? Definitely? I don't know. That's predicting the future. What can we do? Nothing about the economy, nothing about house prices, nothing about the credit crunch, but we can all tackle our own finances, and that's why you're all here. So you have to, in a way, plan for the worst, hope for the best. Could we hit recession? Yes. That means you've got to tidy up and sort out your money, and 2008 is the year of the defensive consumer.
Thank you very much.
Monica, thanks very much. Well, that's a wide range of topics covered. Get over here. Hope you found what Martin had to say really useful.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your feedback, good or bad, preferably good, though, or constructive at least. So click through to the forum on the It Pays to Watch website. That's 5.tv/It Pays to Watch.
And don't forget to join us next week when Martin's going to show you how to radically cut your car insurance. Some people get it below 75 quid. Impressed?
Absolutely. Even cheaper. It's also certainly possible. And sitting over in Celeb Corner will be Ewan Thomas, international athlete. I hope he doesn't do a runner on me.
I also find out all about stoozing, and I'm still baffled by that term, but I promise that I'll be all clued up by next Wednesday at 7:25 on 5.
I'll make sure of that. And also, there will be our weekly money-saving news with all the latest hot loopholes and newest deals. So make sure that you don't miss us.
When?
It
pays
to
watch.
We didn't plan that. Bye.